Hello and welcome back, artists and designers. Today we're going to talk about getting our digital still life painting set up here in this document. So in this video we want to get our document set up with two artboards. Let's dive in and do that. New, File, pop over here, and I'm going to default to a 12 by 9, actually a 12 for the width and 9 by 12. My orientation is vertical, so there you go. And here's the key. I'm going to check the use artboards feature here, and that way I am going to have access to multiple artboards. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and here we go. Here's our first artboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a second artboard in. The easiest way once you have an artboard is to go up to the layers menu here and click on that and go over to new artboard. And you're just going to hit OK here, and it should go in pretty much the exact same size. And what's nice about this is you will be able to show and hide your artboard and work almost in two separate documents within the same file, or two separate canvases within the same file. So I want to put my sketch on one artboard, and I want to put my photo reference on the other. So let's go ahead and do that. I have my photo reference. I'm going to go ahead and grab artboard 1 here. And my photo reference, I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop that right on there. So that's on that. And I'm going to go ahead and do a file and place on artboard 2 and place my sketch. So there is my sketch. Place that in there. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and I can call this painting because this is my painting artboard. And this is just my reference or photo. So, photo. There we go. And again, I challenge you to actually draw this physically without tracing the photo. I feel like that's almost a little bit too easy. So we try to draw it on paper first, and now we're going to check our proportion. So I'm going to do that quickly. I'm going to drop the opacity on my sketch down to about 50%. I'm also going to drop the opacity on my image to about 50%. And now, what's kind of cool about having the two artboards, I can click on my still life sketch, and I can physically drag that, drop that right onto the photo. You can see it jumps frames, and it's now over here. And I can see I did a pretty good job with the proportion. Things aren't perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and maybe just adjust this a little bit. And, you know, this doesn't have to be photorealistic, but you want to try and get the proportions in there. So I could leave it as is, but I'm going to enlarge, and it's going to want to stay in proportion, so I can hold down the Shift key, and it will allow me to distort a little bit and maybe get that a little bit of a closer size right there. So I feel like I did the pears and the picture and the fabric okay, and I put this up a little bit high, but I'm going to live with it. I think it's okay, and something like that looks good enough to me. So I just wanted to check that. I'm going to hit enter, accept that change, and I'm going to drag this right back to my painting layer here and move that back over. So I have that, and I'm just going to adjust it, and I think that's good. So I just wanted to check and see what the proportions look like compared to the photo, but it's okay if it's not exact. So let's go ahead and bring the opacity back up to 100% here. And on my digital painting layer, I'm basically ready to go. So I'm going to add a base tone layer here. So I'm going to go ahead and do solid color adjustment. I don't like to work with the white of the paper. I like to give it at least a bit of a gray tone, and then that way I can add the really bright highlights in a little bit later if I want to. Obviously I need to put that under. So I'm going to put that under here. And now it's up to you how you want to approach this. This layer is going to be your kind of reference for sketching. I mean, it's already a smart object, but you could lock that out. You might want to change this also from normal to multiply. It's not going to have much of a change right now, but as you start to build your layers in with values, it'll be a little hard to see if you leave it at normal. So multiply would be good. And then basically you're going to add a new layer here and start the process. If you want to use a hard edge brush and kind of define the shape of your objects with a base layer of color, and then do another layer that floats over top, make it a clipping mask to do the shading, or just dive right in with the shading. It's really up to you how many layers you have here. I'm going to leave that up to you. So I'll show you one. I'll make one more video here, and we'll take a look at a couple of methods to approach that. But essentially at this point, once you get your document set up, you have your reference on the left, you've got your sketch on the right, and you just start working up your painting. So I'll see you in the next video, and I'll show you a couple methods for approaching this, but mostly it's going to be a review from previous lessons. So with that, good luck, get it set up, and I'll see you in the next video.